Vill du have the putsduk va? Den lilla smärgen. Här ser ni. Här vet du. Before we show it to the audience va? I don't know what you think. Do you think it's too big? Do you think the Apple Watch Ultra is too big, or do you think it fits? Do you think it's unnecessary? We're gonna talk about this. I've been using an Apple Watch now for, I think, around 2 years. And the initial reason why I actually bought an Apple Watch was because I wanted to have something that I could answer phone calls on when I didn't have my phone with me. It didn't really pan out this way because I realized that you couldn't actually text without having to talk. And since I'm not speaking English on my everyday life, but I have my phone set to English, it's kind of hard to text people when you're talking in Swedish, but the actual keyboard is in English, so everything turns out wrong. But when I saw that Apple Ultra was released, I was initially not planning on doing an upgrade because, you know, I already had an Apple Watch that I was kind of satisfied with. However, though, I was still lacking the feature to actually text on my Apple Watch. And one of the first things when I saw the Apple Watch reviews that people started to drop was that it looked big. But was it too big though? The previous Apple Watch that I had was the 44mm. Honestly, I thought that this Apple Watch was feeling a little bit too small on my wrist because I mean, like, I'm a big guy, I have a big wrist and big hands, so having this on me always felt a little bit too small for what I personally like when it comes to my watch style. And now that I've been using the Ultra for a little bit over 2 weeks, I gotta say that I like it a whole lot. It feels like the perfect size watch for me when it comes to having a smartwatch on my wrist. Something that I did notice though is that it could be a little bit thinner than what it is because now it's kind of like bulging up. It kind of like protrudes out from your wrist. So whenever I'm doing like this, I hold down the crown on the watch because, you know, it can be that I'm going out of my car or something like that, you know. It's one of those things that was a little bit annoying before I actually turned off, so that now when you press it, it does nothing. When you hold it, it does nothing. Talking about the buttons though, I'm a huge fan of tactile buttons. I love the feeling of pressing a button rather than an actual display, and being able to press this, bam, and just jump into the workout app. That is so good. Pressing this button, swipe through the different apps. I just love the fact that it's more tactile and more interactive than my previous watch was. Some of you probably might be wondering if I'm going to use this with the intention of the purposes that it was actually built for. And the answer is no, I most likely am not. But the good thing though is that you don't need to in order to be able to appreciate the watch. I think that the watch itself is something that will be an extension of my phone whenever I don't have my phone with me. Since I'm trying to leave my phone at home more, I'm trying to leave my phone here at the office a little bit more so that I can just bring my watch instead of having my phone with me. And when it comes to the design, in my opinion, I think that looks very good. I like the bracelet that you have on the Apple Watch. I choose the green one because I'm using like a green jacket, green pants, and I'm all about the green stuff, you know? It looks outdoorsy. And the titanium casing is something that I like a whole lot. It would be nice to have sort of like a matte black watch as well, but honestly, the more that I've used it, I kind of like grown fond of the look of the titanium look of the Apple Watch Ultra. One of the things that really stood out to me was the battery life on this watch. I tried to maximize the amount of battery that I could get out from it, so I charged it on the night to Saturday to Sunday and picked it up Sunday morning, and I could actually use the watch all the way until Tuesday evening with 2 workouts in between, and using it to call with, to text with, and just having it as an everyday watch. Being able to have approximately 3 days of actual use when it comes to this watch is something that I like a whole lot, because sometimes you don't have a charger with you, sometimes you forget to charge it, sometimes I sleep with the watch as well. So being able to skip a day of charging is something that I think is a huge win when it comes to a smartwatch. Something that I feel a little bit disappointed on with though is the volume when you're actually having a phone call. When I used this watch, one of the things that I felt with it was that the volume was a little bit too low, because when there's a lot of noises outside, you try to talk and then there's something in between, so you really got to put it up there, you know, to be able to hear it. And when I was looking through the specs on the Ultra, I thought that because it has a bigger speaker and all that good stuff, the volume would be very loud and clear. I don't know if it's my watch or if it's all the watches, but I think the volume isn't that different from my previous watch, and I would have loved it to be a little bit louder. And since I have a bad case of tinnitus, it's kind of hard to hear different things when there's a lot of things going around when you're outside. So I kind of like have to walk with it like this, and then it feels weird. I want to be able to have it like this when I'm outside and just walking around and having the volume like screaming into my face. Personally, I think that the Ultra is a great watch. I like it a whole lot, and the only thing that I can't vouch for is the price. It is a very expensive watch, and I think that being able to have all the things that the Ultra has is a pretty cool thing. Not that I'm going to use them all, but if I go out on a hike and if I want to go out camping or drive up to the fjell in the Norwegian mountains, then I have the watch in order to help me if I lose connection with my phone or something else, because you have all the different things in the watch. And I really hope that it's going to be a good substitute now for me that I'm trying to use my phone less. I'm going to do an updated video on this, but I would love to know, what do you think about the Apple Watch Ultra? Do you think it's good? Do you think it's too expensive? Would you like to have it? Drop a comment down below. Peter from Sweden is saying goodbye.